Hello and thanks for joining. Today's tutorial is going to be the sixth Python tutorial, and today's topic is going to be an introduction to for loops. There's a couple different types of loops within Python. You can use for loops and you can use while loops. So we'll talk about while loops later. Kind of the major difference is in a for loop, you set the number of iterations that you want to run, whereas a while loop will run until that condition is met. So I'm going to jump in here, and just like in the previous tutorial, I'm going to create a file, and I'm going to go ahead and do a pretty basic for loop here. So I'm going to create a list of entries. So let's do hobbies, let's say. So I'm going to say hobbies is equal to, then I open brackets, and then I'm going to list hobbies. So let's say sports, comma, let's do reading, comma, let's try movies, and maybe games. Okay, then I close the brackets. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I close the brackets there, hit return, and then at this, no indent on this one, for x in hobbies, and then I do a colon, I hit return. Anytime you're going to do a colon, you hit return, it's going to indent for you automatically. So then I'm going to go ahead and say print x. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and run this, and it's going to prompt me to save it. I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to say OK to save. And I could have said file save or save as in advance, but I just did it like this. I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to go ahead and create a for loop list. Okay. And I got an error. So let's take a look and see what happened here. I see exactly what happened here. I forgot the parentheses there. So now I'm going to go ahead and run that again. I'm going to save it. And there we have the correct output. So all that for loop is doing is looping through the list of hobbies here. Okay, and you see they're displayed there. So what I wanted to share with you is several other examples here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up some other examples. I'm going to do a range example. So how this works is, in this case, I've done three examples here. One is the first example for x in range 3, okay? So we're looking for the value of 3 in order to, that's the, where we want the iterations to stop through the loop. The second example, we want to start at 2 and end at 11, okay? So essentially, match on 2, once you hit 11, iteration stops. And the third example, we've added one more entry here. We're starting at 2, we're ending at 11, and then there's an option to put in the steps. So when I say steps, think intervals. All right, so in this example, we start at 2 and go to 11 in steps of 2. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 in this case, and then print that. Okay, and to show you the syntax here, I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick example here so you can see the syntax. So you have, once you open those parentheses, you have a starting value, comma, stopping value, and then this is an option to put in the step. Okay, in this case we did 2. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and run this, and it's going to prompt me to save it, even though I didn't actually change anything, but I did add and remove. So I'm going to say OK. And now what's going to happen, I get the output over here. So the first loop, you see 0, 1, and 2. If we go back and look at the code, we see that we're checking for a range value of 3. So so in this case, we're starting counting at 0. So 0, 1, 2. We match on 3, and the iteration actually stops. It doesn't execute. Likewise, in the second example here, we have a starting point of 2, starting value of 2, ending value of 11, And so you see we do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, and we stop at 10. That's because we hit 11, iteration stops. Okay, it will not run once it hits your value. Okay, and then the third example here, we did the steps, okay, of 2. So we start at 2, go to 11. So again, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now it's not going to do 12 because we've exceeded, 12 is higher than 11. So that's not going to display. So that's how it works working with ranges. And let me share some other examples here with you that you'll want to know about. I'm going to do a example of a break. Now what a break does is breaks you out of the loop, okay, and stops. So in this case, we have let me lift this up. We have the first example where we have the value of 3, and then we print, and then we break. Okay, and I'm going to show you that output, what the difference is here. And then we have for x in range of 2 to 11, if x equals 5, go ahead and break out of the program. Okay, so we've added a condition for the break. In the third example, we've also added that same condition, but in this case, we're going in steps of 2, and I'm going to show you that output. So I'm going to go ahead and say run module. And now, if you look down here, you notice the first loop only has a value of 0. The reason why there's only a value of 0 is think about this in a loop and sequence. For x in range 3, then we say print x, it prints 0. Then before it loops around to check to go do print out number 1, it just has a break. There's no conditions, it just breaks, okay? Whereas the second one says for x in range 2 to 11, now it has a condition to break out. So it goes through, it prints 2. Let me bring this down. It prints 2, x does not equal 5, prints it out, prints 3, x does not equal 5, prints 4, x does not equal 5, prints, goes to the next value, which is 5. The condition's met, it breaks out, okay, and stops the program. Okay, so that's coming at 2, 3, and 4. And then you'll notice this one goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so it goes beyond 5. And the reason why it goes beyond 5 is because we have the steps of 2 here. So the condition of x equals 5 never occurs. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. Thanks a lot for joining. Take care.